Welcome back to when I can get a word in edgeways suit. Thank you. Welcome back to episode 23 of my Stationeers Europa playthrough. So, last time I made what was going to be one episode and turned into two episodes after I'd finished it because I realised it was over 2 hours long. And I got all of this built, which is fantastic, but I've still got loads more to build. Remain slightly in need of Electrum to do this, but I'm going to try to. I'm not going to say I'm going to try and finish the build. I mean, that would be lovely, but I'm going to try and progress further with the build this episode. Let's say that. One thing I am thinking about a little bit is all these memory chips on the wall here, actually, whether I'd be better moving them, these ones here down here, and putting a roll cover over them to make them a little bit more accessible if I should need to, and just generally a bit tidier looking. So I might do that. I probably will do that, but I'd need to move that layer and above, so that's 4 of each. Oops, and I forgot to pay attention to all the nagging from my suit, so let's fix that kind of quickly. Can't deal with that. Be embarrassing to die before we've even really started the episode, so let's go and just sort that out. Right. So Electrum is, as I say, going to be the problem. It's always the problem. But we will get there in the end. Right, okay, that's my suit sorted. There are so many warnings that I sort of just zoned out, really, to be honest, and just like, yeah, whatever, suit warnings everywhere. Okay, what I can do is if I switch that over to there, that will turn off that one, and then I've just got a hunger warning, and actually, do you know what? I've still got 13% on my hunger. I'm fine with that for now. I can get some more food when I need it. Right. So in order to really progress that build, I'm going to obviously need those chips, but I'm going to try to see whether I can tidy up in there a little bit. Key thing is really just getting some silver. That's the thing I most need in the world. I don't think there's any in here, but I'm going to have a quick check. Oh, there's some silver. I don't think there's much, but there's some, and I'll take it. So that should come out. Oh, that's going to go in there now, isn't it? Oh, that's okay. Hopefully I can do that. Maybe. Yeah, there we go. Okay, right. Oh, 1 whole silver. That was a lot of faffing for 1, wasn't it? Oh well. I don't even know where I'm looking. Of course there's no more. It would have stacked it. That's why I set this machine up. Right, okay. Alright, well, at least we know that routing sort of works. So that's a flip-flopper. So left to its own devices, it's now going to go that way next time. Right. So if I was going to move these, it's better to do it now than once I start actually putting them into service for anything. So let's have a look at this. If I move, so there's 4 ICs, so I could get them in here, 1, 2 more, and I could get potentially up to 3 more into there. Where would I put the memory chips? Because obviously that's a logical place for it, but that's the button array, and we still need more buttons to go there. So maybe I should just leave that where it is. It just feels a little bit untidy. Maybe I'll move those middle ones out, put them in here, and have a double height. I just feel like that would be useful to be able to access them, and the roll covers are the tidiest way of doing that. So I think I'm going to do that. Right, let's start by. Oops. Not that I've got any cable, but you know, It's good to know. What would I do with this stuff if I did have cable? Okay, that at least makes for a bit of a tidier across there, and then oops, I put that one in there, and that one in there. Okay, and then that one could go across there, and that one could go, actually, first things first, that one could go across there, that won't actually use one up, and that one can go down there. And actually, if I'm smart, fantastic, all still fits together. Okay, great, that is good. So that's we'll figure out what we're going to use each section for, but that's a little bit tidier. And then I'm going to put some roll covers. I don't normally like putting roll covers that high up, but I'm going to put roll cover, roll cover, roll cover, and then we can close the rest in later with actual walls. So that's good. Right, so the next thing to do will be, if we can make any chips, will be to hook this up. But we're going to need to make 2 chips to make that work. Although actually, if I could plumb in, what I could do, I could start plumbing in the gas feed, couldn't I? That's a sensible use of time while I'm waiting. So let's get on with that. I'm going to need iron. I'm bound to have used all the iron on chutes. Right, there we go. And we got any more in there? Yeah, oh, jump right past it. There we go, okay. Right, good. Also wondering if I can put those back through here. Nice. Oh, fell off the corner. Right, okay. So what I need is enough pipes to connect up to both the, chuck that there, both the gas tank and the hot storage tank, which is over there. I'm also going to need to start thinking about, once I get this really going in earnest, start thinking about a way to feed from the hot storage into the main gas recycler, or it's eventually just dumping gas in there forever is not obviously a sustainable solution. I could use that tank, actually I might make a second hot store for now. I'm just a bit concerned I'm going to inadvertently overload and blow that one up when I'm not paying proper attention. That is the sort of thing that's likely to happen. I wonder if I can make the tool manufacturer in now. It's a space issue rather than anything else. Obviously my plan was to extend out there to make room for it, which I have done absolutely nothing about. Right, step 1, let's get some pipes made. Loads of pipes. Possibly could put a tool manufacturer in there if maybe I'll drop this over here for now. That feels like a reasonable size space. It's not exactly a long-term home, but it would do for now, and that would be enough. It's not great, is it, with the way that's connected? It's still better than nothing. That would allow me to be able to make some paint, which would be really, really handy. Yeah, it definitely needs to move at some point, but for now, let's give that a go. So I'm going to need iron sheets, which here's some I prepared earlier. Cable coil. Yeah, I just think the plumbing in particular is getting complicated enough that I'm going to need to colour code it, which means I need to be able to make paint. I've managed to get away with it with the data networks by using whatever paint I already had. But with the gas pipes, I actually need a bit more structure to it than just random colours. It doesn't matter so much with the data and power networks, you just need to know that they're different colours and don't connect them, but with gas you actually need to know what's in them, so whoops.
Power low.
Let's put that there, and that in there, and those in there. And then I think we need plastic sheets, don't we? Which we've got there. And the screwdriver. It's possibly enough now. I think that's enough. We'll stop now. Stop. Thank you. No, I don't want to do that. I just want to turn it off. Thank you. Right, there we go. Right, it's a little bit tight in here now, to say the least, but okay, so that should allow me. Nice, right, so now we can have orange for fuel and we can have pink for hot. And undoubtedly we'll have other colours for other things, but that's a sensible starting point. Right, actually I need to think about that's all orange, so that's fine. I have actually done quite well getting away with a lot of this, haven't I? Is that nitrogen? I think it is. That needs black if it is. Whatever it is, there's nothing in there at the moment. Those oxygen filters are both exhausted. How did I let that happen? Then I'm going to have to go and eat and drink. Those were supposed to be oxygen filters. I've actually just made the wrong ones. That's because I was thinking about nitrogen. I'm an idiot. Never mind, they'll be useful for something at some point. Lucky I've got a reasonable amount of iron in there. Let's put them over here. Actually, while I'm thinking about filters, do I need some CO2? Probably a good idea to make one. Oops. Right, let's move that one there, move that one there, there we go. Right, okay. Oxygen filters. Right. Okay, so that should be oxygen going in there. Anything else going in there, which I think practically is... Yeah, okay. So let's have a black paint as well for that. Good news is that I can also make loads of other stuff. Now I've got this. Right, there we go. Black. Let's do that. Great. Right, okay, let's eat and drink. That's a smart thing to do at this point. Because it's kind of annoying me how much fuss he makes when he gets ill. Right, so what am I going to grow in here? What am I going to harvest in here, rather? Potato seeds, I'll take them. Another potato seeds, right, okay, great. That's going in there and there. Another potato seeds, that's going in there. Okay, 2 potato, so if I harvest that and plant that, that goes in there, that closes there, turns on, turns on. Why is that not turning on? Have we run out of power? What's going on? Yeah, power's out. How did that happen? Yeah, that's dropping below. So, why is there no coal? Why has that happened? I did not notice that we had run out of coal in there. That is unfortunate. Right, okay, well at least I was in the base at the time. That could have been a lot worse. It could have killed the whole crop. Right. Okay, it's cooked it for me, has it? Right, okay. Well, I'll take it. At least it's nice and warm. Right, there we go. Now you can stop moaning. Right, 1 spare potato seed. Don't think there are any more. No, but there is a corn seed. A second corn seed. Okay, that's good, right? That means I've now, whoops, got at least one of those seeds, which means that if this crop goes horribly wrong, I'm slightly less likely to die. Right, that bottle's got water in. I'll take that while the helmet's open. We'll put that in there. I'll shut the helmet. I'll shut that. Okay, good. Right. Switch out my battery while I'm here. Come on. Right, let's put that in there. Let's turn that off. Let's quickly spray this in here. That's right, isn't it? I guess. I'm not sure enough to know that is right, actually. Okay, right, that I need, 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 but I can't put in my backpack because I'm full. That I don't need. Right, volume pump may or may not need, probably won't actually, thinking about it. There's a volume pump built into the furnace. Flat wall might be useful for continuing construction. Yeah, let's grab that. Okay, right, and I've got the spare tank. Okay, I'm going to go and get on with it then. Right, so obviously this fuel line Okay, that's good. I'll have have to do is figure out how I'm going to get the fuel line from here. I suppose logically the thing to do is just branch it, isn't it? Right, which one's that's the output, so the input's at this height, so it's one up from the ground. Right, so we're going to put that through there.
Power critical.
Fantastic. Should have changed that before it came out. Meant to do it, did not. Let's run that along the edge of this fence here. Can go that way along there. Along there. And along there. Okay, that's good. That's most of that fuel line in place. Right, I've got 4% power. It's not much, but it's enough just to do a couple of quick respray jobs. Pressed the wrong button. Just get some of this cleaned up a bit. There we go. Right, and then let's get inside. Right, there we go. That's better. Right, next up, actually let's, whilst I'm here, I'll just do this bit. Saving confusion later. By confusion, I mean fiery explodey death, obviously, because Stationeers. Okay, good. That's all of the fuel tank stuff into orange. There's definitely some more colour coding that needs to be done, but that's a good start. Right, okay, so I'm going to get the rest of this fuel line laid in, and then I'm going to think about what I'm going to do with the hot gas, whether I attempt to connect it to the existing hot gas system or just create a second tank for now, which probably is not an unreasonable strategy, to be honest. I don't think I've got anywhere near enough pipes, but you know. Amazing. We can now get fuel into here. Right, now next thing to do is the hot gas line, which we're going to do in pink because it's a bright, dangerous feeling colour, like Barbie. Right, so there we go. Right, hot gas is going to run along here. Probably should make these insulated pipes. This room might get a bit hot actually, but see how we get on. Okay, there we are. Definitely need more of those. Actually, what I will do while I'm out here is make sure this is all sprayed in as hot gas as well. Whoops, not the cable, just the pipe. Come on, there we go. Just going use this up. There we go. Recycle that. I hear pipes. I hear pipes bursting. I see pipes bursting. Right, this needs more active management in here, I think. Having got... whoops, that was not quite what I meant to do. Never mind. Is it doing it? Just cancel, that's fine. Having got my head a bit more around thermodynamics, I feel like I've got a small chance of being able to figure that out, but oh yeah, I've still got some electrum lurking in there. Well, we'll stick that in there. Don't really know how many of these I'm gonna need. Well, we'll go that far. Do for now. Right. Actually, if I've got some electrum, I wonder whether I can make another IC chip yet. Yes, only one, but I'll take it. Right, sort this before something else blows as a result of not having the vent in place out here, which is going to happen really soon. Did I get there in time? We'll find out. Oh, I think I just about did. Okay, good. Right, that's now running nicely again. Okay, good. Right, let's get to work over here. Right, okay, so first things first, let's finish the respray job of this. Since it was nearly done, there we go. You may wonder why I'm not running these out through one of the other walls, but since the other furnaces are going to go along here, it just makes sense just to get them out through this side, and then figure out what I'm going to do after that. Oof, that looks really ugly. Don't like that. And in fact, this is going to end up looking just as bad, so I might turn that and run it along above here. Yes, I think I will do, and then I'll drop it over this side, see if I can... I think I'm going to give it its own tank, but I'm going to put it near there so I can eventually hook the whole thing up. I just want to make sure I've got enough capacity. go. Let's get that in that hand. Let's add the rest of them to there. Damn, still run out. Okay, well, whilst I've got a wrench in my hand, I'm going to deal with this. Because I hate it.
Power low.
Okay, that's nearly enough to join up. I'm going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 more. And then here I'm going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe, I don't know, half a dozen of those as well. So it'll be fine. I'm going to put this tank out here. I'm going to put it over here. I'm going to put it really near there because I do want to be able to ultimately combine the two, but I'm going to have a lot of very hot gas coming out from those furnaces, whilst particularly the adaptive algorithm is learning the right temperature. It's going to undershoot and overshoot all sorts of times. So what's the point actually? How are those looking? They're okay for now. Yeah, it's going to under and overshoot frequently. So on that basis, I'm expecting it to go wrong a bit and dump a lot of very hot gas. It should get more accurate the longer it runs for, in theory. I also want to pick that up because we've got some stuff out there. Right, okay, so let's make about another 6 bits of pipe and then about another 6 chutes. In the meantime, let's get that into there. If I make 6, I'm going to need 7, and if I make 7, I'm only going to have needed 6. So I'm going to make 8, because that's definitely the wrong number. At least then I know I'm wrong. I don't think there's any logic to that, it's just that's how I feel. Right, okay. So let's see if I can make some chutes as well. I'm a bit more confident that with that it is 6. So let's get that going. I'm going to sort my battery out because it will be getting very low again. There we go. Good. Right, so I'm back to the old electrum bottleneck. Okay, right, well in the meantime let's start with the very first piece of the main system. So let's start by importing this. Just to clear it, I'm going to go to the library and I am going to load up the button scanner. So the button scanner is a super simple piece of software. So all the button scanner does is it looks for, well, first of all, it pushes the names of all the possible buttons onto the stack, right? So that's the working memory. You'll notice we've also up here defined the hash code for a push button. So we now have put all of those onto the stack, and then what it does is each go, it will start this loop. So first thing is it will set its setting to 0. So it will write to the IC housing setting a 0. It will then move to the value of stack top, which is wherever the pointer was setting, so that tells us the last entry on the stack. And add 1 to it, just to make sure it's in the right place to start reading it, because we're about to run a loop where we're going to subtract, so we need to actually start from the stack top plus 1. So we then start running through this sub loop inside. So this sub loop, first thing it does is it takes one off the stack pointer, so reduces it. So it's now back to pointing at the last thing which went on the stack, which is in this case the hash of the text request wasp-alloy. What it then does is it says if that's 0, if the stack pointer is 0, sorry, then it's checked everything. So it's worked its way backwards through this list and it's checked the last one, it gets to 0, and then goes, okay, that's fine. So at that point it's going to jump out of the loop. And in fact, if it does that, it's just going to yield, so it's going to wait for a tick, and then it's going to restart the whole process. But if it hasn't got to the end of this list and it's still checking through, it's going to, first of all, peek at the stack and put the result in R0. So wherever the stack pointer is pointing, it's going to take the value, in this case the hash value of request wasp-alloy, stick it in R0. It's then going to use the lbn command, which is a named load. So it's going to load into R1 the value of a device of type button hash. That's why we defined that up here. So a push button with the name of R0. So with the name hash of that, so the name is that. It's going to read its setting, and in fact, because it's a batch read, and if there are multiple buttons, it's going to read what's the maximum. So if we've got 5 buttons called request wasp-alloy, and one of them has been pressed and is set to 1, and the other are all 0 and are set to 0, it's going to return a 1. And it's going to then say if that value is 0, so if that button or all of the buttons called that, but functionally we've only got one by each name, so if that button is not pressed, then go back around and check the next one. Take one more off the stack pointer, so move back one and check that, and take one off and check that, and check that, and check that, check that, and go all the way until obviously eventually the stack pointer is pointing at 0 because it's checked them all. So as soon as it finds a pressed button going in effectively descending order through here, what it's instead going to do, instead of jumping back to check buttons, is it's going to write the value of the stack pointer, so which sequence this was, to the setting of the IC housing. Then it's going to end the loop. It's not going to check any more buttons at that point. Yield, wait a loop, and go around and do it all again. So literally all this code does is sits there and monitors this set of 17 buttons, and as soon as it detects that one is pressed, whichever the highest one on this list is that's being pressed in that tick, and given that on single player that you can only press one button in a tick, it'll only ever be one of them at most. As soon as it finds one, it puts the sequence number effectively of that, it writes to the IC housing, and that's all it does all day. It just sits there and does that. So this code is quite modularized, and I've done it like this for a reason, partly because of line limits and input limits, but partly because I don't want this to miss you pressing the button just because it's on running then another piece of code. I want this to literally just sit there and poll the buttons, and all it does is that. And as soon as it finds one, it writes it out. The next in the sequence, which we will add shortly, is going to monitor this chip, and as soon as it gets a value, it's going to add that value to a queue. So that if you press multiple buttons, it's effectively writing to the stack in the order they were pressed, and then we can pop them off the stack, albeit in reverse order, and work back through that list. And so that will be the second component. And as you can probably guess, what that means is that we're then able to feed instructions through into the Ore processing system in order to tell it what we want it to do. So I'm actually going to put, I think, the 2 button ones, because they are super simple and require minimal maintenance, right up the top there. Right, so in order that I don't get completely confused what's doing what, I'm going to label that one, if I can find where I put the labeler. And that is the button scanner. Okay, so that's button, whoops, caps lock is on, button scanner. Okay, the power's gone off again, fantastic. I better go fix that, otherwise we're going to have a problem. one of the issues I think here is that the refrigerated vending machine does use really quite a lot of power, and I probably need to add some more windmills, which I will come to. In the short term though, let's just feed that again and get these recharging. That's the downside of refrigerated vending machines, and in fact all sorts of other stuff that we're throwing in here is all just adding to that problem, because we're adding quite a lot of complexity to the base. The miner's using lots, and obviously we did increase for that. We haven't increased for this. I'm going to turn that off as well, because I'm sure that's not really helping. Oh, it's definitely not helping. It's actually running its pumps as well. I'd not realised that. That's actually just wasting gas, I suspect. So that's probably got a load of fuel in it, that line now. No, it actually hasn't. Okay. Oh, of course, that's behind the isolator valve there. That's actually quite lucky. Right. Anyway, back to the plot. Right. So I'm going to turn that on. It doesn't need any further configuration. So say it's a nice simple. Now that's staying a state of 17. I think that's because those buttons don't exist. And in fact, I think probably I need to change that code very slightly to say it needs to be greater than 0. I have a feeling I've had this problem before, which means 1, which means pressed, because I think otherwise it has a not a number which is not equal to 0, but actually it doesn't mean it's been pressed either. Anyway, we'll come on to that in a minute. Let's see if I can get this over here. Oh, I haven't got anywhere near enough pipe. How did I guess it only needed 6? What was I thinking? More like 16. Not quite, to be fair, but it's definitely more than 6, isn't it? Or 8, or whatever number I did. Right, now it needs 2 more. But anyway, that at least then gives me hot gas to there. So we may well connect it across there in a minute. Fine. Right. I don't know why that's trying to empty as well, honestly. Why is that on? Turn off. I don't need you to be on. Right, that will help. I need to see why this isn't firing up as well. Something's not right here, is it? Wondering if it's not connected to the right battery. Wait, is it on the wrong power grid to be able to see the batteries? No, they're on red. It should work. Should be working. Okay, that also needs investigating, because that really ought to be attempting to... Oh, it is attempting to run, it just hasn't got any gas. Have we just run out of gas? That actually could well be the problem. No, why am I getting the labeler out? I need the tablet. I've gone crazy! Yes, that's the problem, we've run out of volatiles. Probably when that all popped earlier on. Right, okay, let's give that a quick spray up, because I keep meaning to do it and I never get around to it. There we go. Nice. Right. That's got some filter. Ooh, what was that? What was that and where was that? Okay, I'll deal with that in a minute. Worst case it's going to pop and I'll have to sort it out again, but yeah, that's burnt through a lot of coal and not very much time. Well, there's something bursting again. That's tedious. Hasn't done that for a while. Right, well, we definitely need some more pipes. Actually, what I could really do with, I've probably got the silicon and the steel to do it now. Right, okay. I'm going to have to set some normal pipes up just for a minute, otherwise it's going to pop somewhere else. It may do anyway before I can even get to it. Yeah, I think if I replace a lot of this with need to put an isolator valve in the right place, but if I can replace that with insulated, that might be better. Anyway, right. No, wrong way round.
Hunger caution.
Right, whilst I'm here, because at some point I would like this to look kind of tidy, fit those to there. Right, okay, so back in here, let's fix this bit of code, which is nearly right, but not quite. So that there needs to say, instead of saying equal to, I don't know, that's interesting, isn't it? That suggests it is 0. Okay, I guess the solution is actually just way simpler than that. I just need to actually install all the buttons that I've defined. That would actually just solve the problem. It's not too strenuous, I just need 5 more buttons. Logic switch, which I've got enough to make, so let's just make them. That would solve the problem entirely. Rather than coding around it, actually install all the hardware. Right, come on, number 4. Go, and then that should be the last one. Okay, right, so we're going to install those. We'll need to come back and eat in a minute, but between now and then, I wonder whether it's worth taking anything else out. Possibly. That cobalt looks like it's probably better used in there than anywhere else. I haven't got a bypass, have I? What did I do with the... They're in there, right, okay. Right, that's okay, that one's charged. Right. Yeah, actually not running the furnace pumps continuously turns out to be not wasting all the power, which is somewhat better, but it's still worth remembering that they are pretty power hungry. We're going to have to get some more volatiles in a minute as well. Right, let's get some more buttons. 1, 2, 3, 4. Up there or down there? Probably up there. 5, right, okay. So up here we were requesting up as far as Constantine. Okay, so we're going to request, clearly unlikely to need these for a little while, but astroloy. What else have we got? We've got request, I never spell these right, hasteloy. We've got request in Cornell. I got whoops, request stellite. We've got request waspaloy. Right. Great. Okay, so that is everything we need there. So in theory, if I put that chip into there now, let's say nothing's been pressed. Now I doubt, with it being all the way out there, we'll be able to see, but if I press any arbitrary one, will I be able to see it's changed? Not if I'm that clumsy, I won't. No, it's too high up to get to. It's only set for a tick. Right, okay, you're just going to have to trust me that that's what it does. We'll have something to actually test and view soon enough. Right, in the meantime, I'm going to throw this. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a bypass in here so that I can throw things in when I want to. Get that in there quickly before something comes along and goes in there. Whoops! Now I'll put input inlet. There we go. Let's put it that way around. I'm not going to use it hugely often. Right, of course that now means I don't have enough to finish this, but you know. Oh, pretty close. I'm too short. Right, okay, but what I can do is now I can throw that in there and it will go into the vending machine, which is ideal. Right, good. Now, in theory, if I had gas, I could now pressurize this furnace and cook with it. I need a pipe analyzer onto that pipe. And then actually the circuitry to automate the... Let's grab that wire. The circuit to automate the furnaces is then basically complete. So in the interest of that, I know I'm going to need one. I'm going to put that there. Oops. And I've got one too few, haven't I? But I might actually be able to get one more back by tweaking some of those up there. Because, for example, that one actually could just be a corner. Which means that, whoops, could go there. Great, and then that's space to fix the pipe analyzer. So that's the next thing I need to make. Let's see whether or not I can make any more electrum. Silver. Bend that. Thank you very much. Okay, well, it's not very much, but you know. Split half, split one, split one. Okay. Do you know what? I could actually put that on there as well now. And we'll put that one on there. There we go. That's tidier. Right, good. Close that door so if there's a storm we don't have a disaster. Check there's nothing in there. There's not. Good. Don't think there's actually any gas to... no, there's not. can't feed it with anything because we haven't got anything to feed it with. Gonna need some more volatiles. But first, I need to eat and drink.
Health low.
Okay, a little bit more CO2, always good. Right. Okay, let's drink that. I'll stop your whinging. Okay. That will create 2 potatoes. Ideal. And that will create my dinner. Right, there we go. That's all looking much better, isn't it? Did I replant? Yes, I did. Fantastic. Actually, I'm just going to check for any potato seeds.
Power low.
Quite hard to see what's going on in amongst this forest now. It's hard to believe that not very many episodes ago I had no plants growing. It's good news. Right, that looks okay. Great, right, okay. So, let's get through here. Right, what I do need is some more volatile, at least one more volatile filter, because that's going to run out really soon. And I need 2 more chutes. Yeah, I don't want that in my suit there. I mean, I don't want to be breathing volatiles in my suit, but honestly, if I am, I've got bigger problems. Right. Gradually start moving some of this nickel outside. Okay, so then this one goes down there. Right, and now I need that off there, and I need to put a junction in there. Great, okay, that closes up the loop. Obviously once we've got the right chutes in there, clearly we're going to need a load more chutes to come down here for the other furnaces, and I'm going to need an output chute from these furnaces as well. But that's not too bad. Got anything in here? No, nothing at all. Right, I really do actually just need to go and get some volatiles. Luckily, there are some right here.
Jetpack on.
Good. Right, before I run that, let's see whether or not the miner's managed to turn me up any more silver. It actually has. Where will it come out? In here. Oops. The problem is going to be when I want to make batches of things like electrum, it wants 50, and we're going to have less than 50 in the vending machine. That's going to be the definite problem. I don't know whether that's going to be enough. That might be, actually. No. No. Okay. I should have waited. Oh well. Right. Wonder whether if I do that we can deplete that one first. Right. Okay, let's get some more volatiles out of the ground over here.
Jetpack on.
Okay, hopefully that will be enough to keep it going. Right, come on, go faster. Probably shouldn't have put so much in. Oh, that's it, that's alright. That's pumping it back out slowly.
Power critical.
Right, okay, I'm going to have to go back in, so let's throw that in there. Oh, what was going on there? Ah, interesting. Right, let's burn its way through the rest of that coal stack. But on the other hand, that's looking very well charged, so that's good. I guess because we've now got enough gas for the gas fuel generator to have worked, which I think was the fundamental problem, was I just didn't have enough of it. So one of the things I will need to think about is volatile ice mining, which in practical terms probably at bulk means with a rocket, but that's a little bit later. Let's get this working first. Right, can I make that? What do I need for a pipe analyzer? I can't even remember now. A pipe analyzer, 2 gold, 2 electrum. Alright, well the gold shouldn't really be a problem because, quite frankly, that can go cook there. I've got 3 electrum. That would actually be a smart thing to do. That would be enough to then get the first furnace running, kind of. Oh yeah, helps if I put the gold in, wouldn't it? fact, I shouldn't have turned that off. I'm going to set that to IC. That really is all we need now, is enough electrum to make the rest of those chips, and we are good to go. Let that do its thing. Right, I'm going to set up the pipe analyzer. Let that do its thing over there. Right, that's gradually emptying. Let's turn that on. Good, and that's got fuel in it now. So the remaining thing I need to set is on here. Where is the... Something's just popped. That must be meant to point to the pipe analyzer. Right, okay, there we go. Right, that should now work. Okay, what's popped? Oof! Something bad has popped. What the hell? What has popped? I saw fire. Ah, that's popped. Must have had... Oh, okay, I didn't even need that anymore. That's a bit of a waste, wasn't it? Actually, I do need that for one thing, which is I want to separate. Yeah, that was a wrench. Why did it not give me the deconstruct option? Thank you. What I actually want to do is to set this to actually isolate these two. Put it that way round. So I don't even know what's that's that done. Oh nice, we've got all sorts of gunk in here now. It doesn't hugely matter, but I've got a bit of pollutant ended up in that tank. That's not ideal, but that should be okay. So that at least I now know is definitely the I thought it was, but then I confused myself. Oh, there we go, that's the nitrogen line. Okay, that's good, and that's mixing air, which is obviously a combination of oxygen and nitrogen. Right, well, not ideal, but there we go. I don't know how much I've got, if any, in that fuel now. I've still got some fuel, that's okay. I was concerned I'd lost it all, or a lot of it, but I'm okay. Switch that out. Switch that out. Okay, not as catastrophic as I first thought when I looked back and saw flames inside the hab, but we're okay. Right, good. So, back to the task at hand. The automated furnace is actually now set up in a way where it should be possible to program it to make something and have it do it. Let's allow that to pressurize. There's gas coming in. That's all set up. In fact, I could turn that one on as well. That's the monitoring. So in theory, if I wrote the hash code into there and the temperature and pressure I wanted into there, this should now fire up and do its thing. The problem is I've got no way of getting what I want into it without dismantling this whole system here, so I'm not going to do that for now. But we're starting to get there. Check for any more silver. Just on the vague hope that we've got some. Do you know what? I'm going to vent some more coal though, because we're going to need that soon back in the hab. I'm not going to need as much as that to make. No more. Okay, well, you know, it was worth a look, wasn't it? Whoops. No, just go in. Come on. Stubborn thing. Right. Okay. That's probably got coal in it now. Yes, it has. Thank you. Right, okay. Electrum. Not much, but enough for the next chip in the sequence. I'm actually just thinking, it's just occurred to me, and I should have thought this earlier, I think one of these machines has actually got a silver ingot in it. It's not much, but it's got 9. I'm just about to eject the electrum I've put in order to get to it, of course, but... There we go. Right, I'll have that. That's more electrum. Great. Let's make one more of those. Right, and that's 9. So let's split half, split 1, 2, 3, 4. Put that back on there. That there, that'll make another 18, which is actually, when combined with what's in here, going to be enough to make... I'm going to need some more steel, but I've got steel. Steel's in here. And there's a little bit of electrum in there. Yes, good. Okay, we can actually move this forward a bit. Right, okay, before we do that, however, the next chip. So let's import to clear that. Let's go to edit. Okay, so the next chip is going to be the button Q. We've got the button scanner. We're now going to have the Q, and the Q is another really simple bit of code, even simpler than the scanner in terms of number of lines. It's a super simple loop. All it does is, first of all, it sets its IC to 0. It wants to be connected to the button scanner, because if you remember, that writes the number that was pressed onto itself. And it literally just goes around a loop where it reads into register 10. I don't know why it's 10, I just felt like it, I guess, when I wrote this code. The current setting, because if it's got a setting and nothing has acknowledged that, it's not going to do anything else. Well, actually, that's not quite true. It is going to do something else. But it wants to know that the last write has not been processed. Equally, if its stack is empty, it knows it's got nothing left to write outward. In either of those cases, it's going to jump straight to the read. But if it has something in its stack and its setting is 0, so either you've just started it up or it's not got anything else that's been written to the stack and then being picked up, so it's clear for output, it will pop the top thing off the stack and it will write that as its setting. Either way, it will then, in the same tick, read
the button scanner's setting. If that is 0, it will do nothing else. If it's not 0, it will push it onto the stack. So it will just add to the queue each tick anything that it picks up from the scanner, and every time it detects it's got nothing on its own output, it will write the top thing from the stack, and it's going to rely on the next thing in the chain to set itself back to 0, and that's how it knows as an acknowledgement that it's actually been processed. So that is the next step in the process. So I'm going to write that out there, and I'm going to grab that chip, and I am going to go and make some more Electrum and try and get the rest, another 1 or maybe even 2 more chips made before the end of this episode, which is imminent because it is already going on a bit too long. But this is a sensible natural point. Right. That is mighty hot, and I don't see any output. What the hell happened there? That looks insane. That should have had some Electrum in it. Okay, well, first things first, let's throw that in there, and let's throw that in there. What's that set to? Did I set that too high? No. I mean, I'm going to turn it down now, but that's far too hot to make Electrum. It's far too high pressure. And I suspect whatever was made has blown away. Unless, did I just leave it on? I thought I had some in there ready to go. I don't know. Again, I've been over